Hey everyone, Adam Perry here, and I'm going to quickly go through today's 9-game NHL DFS slate. We are lucky we got these bigger slates on Mondays now, so we got 9 games today, 10 tomorrow. Should be a good one. So we'll do our usual process. I will go through the projections. We'll see who's standing out. We'll build a lineup or two and get a little of our puck knowledge down by looking at lines, by looking at shift charts if we have to, things like that. And then we'll use SaberSim to build our lineups. I'm going to build for the $5 GPP, which I guess I get the most questions about that. So I'm going to build, it's like a 142 max. I'm going to build a portfolio of 142 lineups, and I have that set up in SaberSim to do that. And then we'll get a look at what's standing out. Now, if we look at projections, actually, I should start first with news, but there ain't any. So we're lucky that with 9 games, there's not really any game time decisions or anything standing out. I think we have everyone in projections right now. As always, be careful. Take a look for goalie confirmations. Take a look for late news, anything that stands out, but don't worry about it too much. Now let's go back to the projections. McKinnon kind of obviously standing out as the top play, and McDavid, no surprise, but you do get McDavid and Draisaitl both up there, and Hyman, not bad. And then Colorado kind of bunching up, but Minnesota really looking strong. So I'm just going to go over to the Minnesota lines, and we'll see what we could build using Minnesota. Now, I would take it that they're going to be pretty chalky. You've got Kaprizov, Yurov, Zuccarello on EV1, Johansson, Hartman, Boldy on 2, and then you've got Hartman, Boldy on power play 1, and Zook and Kaprizov on power play 1. So you don't have the full correlation, but you have someone like Yurov's probably pretty well priced. Yeah, 3,400 for Yurov. You got a Ryan Hartman who's not bad at 3,600. So there's a lot you could do with Minnesota. Let's see how it works. Now I imagine they're going to be high owned because of this, and look at you could look at Jesper Wallstedt, the great wall, so to speak, really showing up as a top play. We rarely have goalies come in as such strong point per dollar values. So, they must be projecting a lot of shot volume for New Jersey. The win odds are good relative to the price. What's up, DJ Stoner? Doug, yeah, I heard Dougie. I heard that too on the Stochastic show. They were saying Dougie, was he healthy scratch last time? Did he play in Jersey's last game? He may. I think they probably want to trade him, right? That could be the only reason they're doing that. And then they don't have, Jack Hughes is not getting the ice time, and he's on power play too. It's really, they're just really kind of tanking, I guess you'd say. Let's see Jersey's last game. Let's see. Yeah, Hamilton didn't play last game either, DGen. So I don't know. They're tanking. Hamilton's goes. So who knows? I would also. What time is that game? That's an hour after lock. Watch out for line changes too, right? It wouldn't be surprising if Jersey comes out with jumbled lines or switches a mid game. They're trying things and not caring so much. But that's all the more reason Minnesota could look good. Didn't play a lot of Devils DFS for no one. Devils have just been really disappointing and not good for DFS purposes, especially with Hughes out. Hughes is cheap though relative to what he can do. It's like 8,200, right? But he's just not there. Quinn Hughes a play. That's definitely one. Let's see what we could do with Minnesota. So it's a no center thing, which is kind of frustrating. Let's just say we wanted the power play. Could we do it? Oh, Hartman is there. Sorry, did I not say Hartman? Hartman, Boldy, so Kaprizov. Yeah, so Hartman is there. Now, can you get Wallstead in? You could do it. Let's see if there's any. Hartman looking at the best point per dollar play. Malinsky looking good. Is Corey Perry, is he on power play 1? Is that the thing in the late night hammer? Let's see. Corey Perry. Oh, he's on line 2 now, huh? And EV1 or EV2 and power play 1. So you get in a Corey Perry for 2,900. You got a lot you could do. I mean, you could play Minnesota, and there's a lot you could do, or you could play. I imagine we're going to get Minnesota 4-mans just because it's a little pricey. You could take like a Boldy out of there or Zuccarello. You could go like, let's see, Boldy, Hartman, or you could go Kaprizov. You could do something like this with Yurov. So let's see. I think there's a lot you could do here. You can get crazy that way. Perry, who's he with? Byfield. Fogle. Neither on the power play, but how cheap are they? Fogle, pretty darn cheap. Byfield, price is not bad. No other king standing out, though. We could do like a Sam Malinsky. Could we just onslaught him? Yeah. If we so choose. Then we can go up from Malinsky. So, plenty you could do with Minnesota onslaught and get the power play in. We don't have to do that. Let's see if we can make something. I mean, Edmonton looking like strong plays. So is Colorado. We'll see if we could do something with it. Montreal kind of in that next tier. Montreal is always nice because they correlate well and they have pretty concentrated scoring. See if we could do something with them. And then you get Suzuki playing a lot of minutes. Slavkovsky and Demidov there. Let's see what we can make happen with these guys. You get the power play. Let's see if we get Wallstead in. Cheap Zavs D like Manson or Girard. Yeah, Manson or Girard or Malinsky. Makes sense to me, D-Gen. We could have put Manson in that other one. Girard's even cheaper. How many minutes is he getting with Tays out? Getting close to 20 minutes. Even a little cheaper than Malinsky. Malinsky coming as the top value. He's getting a little bit more ice time. Now you get a lower owned Montreal. You can get like a Hartman on power play 1 here. And you get Zuccarello. You have a lot more. Let's see if we can. And you get a Brock Nelson in there. Watch out on Nelson because I don't think he practiced yesterday. Just keep an eye out for that. I didn't see any news on him at all. But that's an issue. Yeah, I couldn't spell the last one. Yeah. Girard. Malinsky. Malin ski. So, you play Montreal, there's a ton you could do. You could even get in, if you want to get in like a Texier to really kind of get the onslaught working. He's pretty cheap. Then you're getting really off the board, kind of. You wouldn't be able to do Nelson and Malinsky, but you can get like Braden Point in there, Sam Bennett. You could go with Girard and get Larkin in there. Let's see, what was Manson? Was he like 4K? 3,500. I mean, that works out. So a lot you could do with Montreal, who's kind of looking like our second tier team. Let's go ahead and do what we do, though, using SaberSim to build. I'm going to switch over to Goldie's projections. Put his ownership in there so we have something to compare with. It doesn't use ownership when building lineups anymore. It would matter, though, if you're on the starter package because you'll be using Saber Score, which is another really good metric. I'm only going to play 4-3s and above on a slate this size, so I'm only going to build them. Yes, I answer this question all the time. You can get plus EV lineups that are less correlated than 4-3s, but that correlation lever is just not checked enough. When we look at post-contest sims and we look at ROI, there's just not enough people playing it. And we only get 5,000 lineups on a huge slate like this. It's barely any. So, yeah, we may get a few hundred of the low correlated stuff that grades well, but we're going to get hundreds that grade poorly. And we could actually get hundreds that grade well if we replace those with highly correlated lineups. And we don't get a lot of shots at this. So want as many candidate lineups as we can get. While it is building lineups too, I will say like and subscribe, helps us out, keeps the channel going. Check out TrueDFS.com. You could get access to everything I'm using, SaberSim, Goldie's projections. You also get Sheets' projections, Premium Discord, the pay dirt model that we use for prop betting that did really well. Especially, we used it a lot more last year than this year, but it's still going. And James has in his Discord how it's doing. It's performing really well. It's doing really well and hitting those prop markets on points, on shots on goal, on saves, and returning a nice, I think it's like a 6-7% ROI, something like that. It was last year, so that was really nice. And we should check out how it's doing this year. If I don't find it while this is building, I will report back. So yeah, this is a slow build. I guess constraining the builder is helping it take its time. I should say slow for SaberSim standards. I wouldn't necessarily call it slow. I think this is pretty darn fast, but this is what I would do 10 minutes before lock, right? Is run this process. I wouldn't go through all the hand building. I'd already done that throughout the day. And then I just have one loaded in the 5, but we'll turn it into 142. And by preloading that, it helps SaberSim kind of figure out what contests we want to sim. So that's why I have it on that. I've only been playing single entry lately, just a time constraint thing. And it's been tough to MME with late news and stuff. So I've just been a single entry kind of guy myself. Not single entry in the $5, but for our purposes here, that's what we're going to do. And so if you have questions like what we always get about the poke check, here you have it. Here's how my portfolio is going to look once we get these sims run. So let's simulate the contest. Right now it's on Saber Score. We want to run the sims. Then we want to diversify for 142 lineups. It's like 5K up top. Pretty nice. I think it's like a 25% to first prize pool. So it's still in that kind of zone where you want it to be. At least want 25% to first, right? Otherwise you kind of start bleeding out the rake when you're playing in those contests. So some of the lower dollar stuff doesn't have exactly the best structure, right? We want those high percentages to first, right? So let's go ahead and build a portfolio of 142 lineups. It's going to give us a nice diverse portfolio. And we'll see what it looks like. And then people ask, who are you playing? Check out the video. Look at how much Wallstead we're getting. Wallstead, McKinnon, Quinn Hughes. So a lot of that Minnesota stuff. A lot of the Minnesota stuff. Goalie, it's Wallstead, Talapilo against Montreal. So really, I mean, we just have like a smattering of goalies after Wallstead, but a ton of Wallstead. Over a third of our portfolio. Let's take a look at stacks. How much Minnesota? 30% Minnesota, a lot of Colorado in that good spot against Toronto. Then it's going to kind of spread out. I mean, we got a good amount of Florida and Buffalo, but then a little Vancouver, some Kings, some Philly, not as much Montreal. Minnesota in the onslaughts, just getting a metric ton of them. Some of the four-mans too. Just every kind of angle to get Minnesota, we're getting them. Sorry, here's the four-mans. Colorado four-mans, Colorado onslaughts. Yeah, do we have like any? Yeah, I mean, Minnesota, Colorado even being used as the filler stacks. The two-mans of Colorado. I mean, they're just all over our portfolio. Minnesota and Colorado today. That's the kind of slate it is. They're going to be chalky, but we'll get exposure in a lot of other places, but we're going to be kind of on the diversified and kind of safe side in that, call it GTO style. It may not be quite GTO and it's taking into account ownership and stuff, but in that kind of style of play, we have access to the better spots, Minnesota, Colorado, Florida. And there you have it. I got a lot of Jesper Wallstedt at goalie. So let's go for the Great Wall. Don't forget, guys, like and subscribe. Helps us out. Watch again. Get a feel for how my process works so you could work on yours. And check out TrueDFS.com because you can get access to everything I used for not much more than it would cost you if you bought it a la carte at SaberSims. You get like 3 sites in one. It's a really, really strong deal. I highly recommend it. And with that, I wish you good luck on tonight's slate. And hopefully someone is back in here, DGen, or if not you, then someone else otherwise is back in here talking about a takedown tomorrow.